Now we're going to start and understand the topology optimization by using Freecad. So in order to do that, we need to do some basic setup. So in order to show the setup, I just go back to Freecad. That's again, I started Freecad. So now there's something which is called a macro. So if you go on the top menu on this macro, then you can see the macros. Okay, so if I click on that, then you will see here that I have a couple of macros. So you can ask me like, why do you have that? Because if you do the same, probably will not see anything at all. So this user macros, and there are also some system macros. Okay, so these user macros are something like Python files that people are generating. So you can download anything that you want and put it into a folder. So you need to say in which folder. So here is actually the location. My computer is, because I'm using Linux, so my computer is using like this location, home and emek, and under that there's a .freecad. So if you use macOS, you have the similar structure here. So there's a dot in front of that. So this dot means, technically speaking, you cannot really show it. You cannot visualize it unless you say, okay, please show me everything. You don't see that with something in front of that. You can change that, right? This is a user macros location. So I want to simulate how I put them in order to do that. So I will change this one. So if I click on this button, so I can change instead of that somewhere else. So I have something like on my desktop. So let me try to go to the desktop on Freecad path. And here I have created a folder which has nothing in it. Okay, so if I say choose the folder, let me show you the folder here on the desktop Freecad macros. There's nothing in it. So now I want to put these macros into that. So in order to do so, of course, I need to know where to download them. So here's the web page. There's a GitHub web page where is like calculix/beso. So this is the GitHub is actually something like a website where you can put your own code. So this is someone has written in the Calculix something like Beso. Calculix, if you remember, is just the solver that we use in Freecad in order to do FEM. And of course, iteration, doing a topology optimization means like a direct solver and then the inverse solver and direct and inverse and so on. So technically speaking, it is in each iteration using the calculus behind. So this is why it is under the Calculix, and it has the name Beso, which is something really analogous what Abacus has in it. So someone actually looked into the documentation of Abacus and tried to mimic and put in a Python file the same kind of optimization method. So if you want to have a look, so you can of course have a look in all of these files, because these are Python files and everything is open source. You can really know what's going on inside. We don't have to do that, so we can simply use it. In order to get all of these ones, so if I click on one of them, for example, that's the one that we are going to use, then you can see like the Python way of writing, because now you know Python, you can follow what's really going on within this Python file. Let's go back and then try to download them all. In order to do so you can have a look here, there's code. And under the code, there's a possibility to clone by using Git. If you are using Git, of course, you can close it, but it's somehow simpler. If you're not using Git, then you can download as a zip file. So I'm going to save it into this Freecad macros folder. And then you can have a look, it's 20 megabytes. So if I extract it here, then inside you have a lot of wiki files. This is actually large with lots of examples. I don't need these examples, I can delete them, or I can get all these Python files out of that and delete this one. Okay, so I can also delete the zip file. So now I have all these Python files here, and in the computer I want to show it into this folder again because it doesn't see it. Let me show it again here and say close. Let me see if it's now seeing or not. Okay, now if I say the macros, you see now it because I started over, not started over, I just opened the same dialog, and then the dialog have look into this new location, all the Python files, and say yes, you have these user macros that you can use. That's all for now for doing the topology optimization. later on, if we start doing topology optimization, then we can use one of these macros, right? So I can use really one of these macros and then do the topology optimization, and they're simply Python files written in one location that I have access to use that. That's it.